Hello guys, DJParson here, and I'm back with the next game of the World Championship. And as you can see, this is going to be the last of the first stage, which we have reached the game number 4 in our first group stage. And as you know, the first two will advance. Currently it does look good on this screen, at least. I'm on the first and Carl Thomas is on the second. But we have already finished 3 and the other guys only have finished 2. And how it is standing right now, we really need to win this this last game. And it's going to be against SlemmeOdder. We lost our game against Carl Thomas and he has 4 points. And that's the point for all of us 3, and the last 2 have 0. So if SlemmeOdder wins 1 or wins against us, he will have 6 points. Then we can't advance against him. And then we even lost our head-to-head game against Carl Thomas. So yeah, we really need to win this last game. I have to step up my game if I want to advance from the first group stage. And I think there's going to be 2 more. And I, of course, want to show that to you guys. And then maybe even into the playoffs. And who knows, maybe the final. We will see. But first, the first thing we have to do is win or get first or second place in this group. And there we have to win this match now. So, as I said, we're playing against SlemmeOdder, who has the first turn. Myself on number 2. Let's take a quick look at the leaders and wonders. We have the Pyramids, the Colosseum, Magic Castle, Great Wall, no Suez Canal, the Red Crosses here, and the Manhattan Project. For leaders we have Barbarossa, some military actions in H2 and Nobel, but also Shakespeare, who's the only true culture leader from H2. We have Marlene and Bill Gates. And then Gutenbeast, Leonardo. Alright. So SlemmeOdder for his first turn grabs the Engineering Genius. Of course, that's the correct decision. And then I grab Rich Land and Urban Growth. Yeah, the alternative would have been one of the leaders, but 2 yellow cards. So we both start with 2 extra rocks. So pretty fair overall. So all the wonders do come out, so he's not in a hurry to grab the Colosseum immediately, and he will go for Ashoka. Maybe hoping to team him up with the Pyramids, which is a good combo. Now, I could go for the Colosseum this coming turn. Oh, let's see. I go for Alex first. So there's Colosseum. There's some good leaders for Colosseum. For example, Barbarossa really works with the Colosseum, but we are not second position. So it might be a little bit harder. Also, I don't have to grab the Colosseum. I can wait for either Acropolis or Pyramids. And looks like I will do that. I want to elect or grab and elect Alex, build the mine, increase pop, the standard stuff. You can notice that I don't build the philosophy first anymore. I do build the bronze first. Which is not what I was preaching about 1.5 years ago. There I definitely would have gone for the philosophy first. But nowadays I tend to value the early rocks a little bit more. I managed to come by with a little bit less science, and then to keep the options open for early printing presses, and in general keeping that extra population, not putting him into the philosophy, making the resources work with wonders, etc. You don't need as much early science, or that's my playstyle currently. SlemmeOdder will grab the Pyramids for 2. Can't finish them here, but can finish it next turn. So with my play last turn, I did put the Pyramids on 2, so he couldn't grab that for 1. And he doesn't want the Acropolis here. As I said, Ashoka works great with the Pyramids. So let's see if I will play politics or use Alex. I will use Alex immediately and grab Isabella. I already have wealthy territory in hand, and of course it's great. Using Alex immediately and getting a replacement leader in the same turn is pretty good. And Isabella is, I mean, she's probably not the leader with the highest upside, but she's very solid. You can always use her. The blue cubes are great in a lot of positions, and the 1 extra rock, of course, as well. And then especially coupled with that wealth territory already in hand is really great. And then I will grab the Acropolis. As you guys maybe know, we are in a current meta where Acropolis is good. And then I can increase pop. So I'm still skipping that philosophy. Alternative would have been to build the philosophy, but then I wouldn't have had free population. And look at this card row. We got the wealthy, but now we also get the vast and the developed territory. So let's hope that SlemmeOdder doesn't grab the cartography here. That would not be so great. And I get rewarded for not building the lab, because there's gonna be a free religion. If I hadn't had free population, I couldn't take that, so that's good. He takes the religion as well, finishes the pyramids, grabs masonry, swordsman, patriotism, so enabling Ashoka, and increased population. So he will produce extra food and rock with Ashoka. So let's see which colony I will play first. I would guess the developed, okay. I mean, I can definitely play one more. So yeah, development of settlement is open, so more population for us. I will take that free religion, of course, finish the Acropolis, and with one more population I go into that philosophy. There's no early printing presses. We have a leader now, so we can't go for Gutenberg and printing presses. So at this time we really want more science soon. We have a lot of rocks, but we want more science. So building that extra lab, and then I might take the theocracy as well. Yeah, I do that. Theocracy, just to have something to go for with the Acropolis. And these cheap theocracies are really good. It's down to 3. We can easily make that go down to 2 science. And then it's a really great technology. Especially if you have extra civil actions, which we don't at the moment, but there's still the Code of Laws. So that is the idea here. I will keep both territories, getting rid of that tactic. He will not play politics, but go for alchemy, and then maybe Leonardo as well. Builds the alchemy right out. No Leonardo, that's interesting. He could have made a good Leonardo turn here. Not sure which leader he's waiting for then. Maybe Columbus, but we had the best H1 colonies. He misses out on Eleanor. And there's only Gutenbeast, and that's it. So either Columbus or Gutenberg, and Gutenberg is probably too late. I think you should have grabbed the Leonardo instead of the rich land. Maybe even go for Leonardo this turn. More science, more rocks from developing the alchemy. So I don't know if I agree with that play. Let's see what colony I will play next. It's gonna be the Vast. Get the trade routes, and then I can increase population. Build one more religion, make theocracy cost 2. Could have even built one more philosophy and then get theocracy for 1. But I decided that I also want the engineering genius. I mean, there's maybe Universitas, which I could grab next turn. Then the engineering genius will be great there. He does go for Columbus, okay, so probably has a colony already. Or he also sees the problem that there's only Gutenberg left and hopes for an H2 colony. He will build some military. Does he also have a tactic? Yes, going up to 7 strength, but luckily, or thankfully, we have the theocracy. So we have that extra strength, the extra military action, so that really helps to defend. If I didn't have this, I would be at 2 military actions, no tactic in hand, and only an 2 strength. So yeah, here you can definitely see the strength of Acropolis plus the theocracy, giving 2 strength, giving culture production. And the really cheap theocracy for 2 science is a really great upgrade. It's not perfect. Maybe you probably still want the monarchy more, but this is still great for 2 science. You have to. The biggest problem is you have to spend 2 civil actions grabbing it, and you need a lot of civil actions, especially if you go for theocracy. But then the bonuses are just really solid for such a little science price. We'll grab the urban growth as well, still keeping Ashoka in hand. I mean, it definitely works. Ashoka can be a good leader far until the end of H1. Producing extra rock and food is really nice. So let's see what I play next. Probably the wealthy. Yeah, so we have 3 colonies in there, I think. And the extra 2 science is great here. I had enough anyway, but like this I can go for Code of Laws. Grab the Universitas and build a warrior. Yeah, this is a very clean turn. Getting the Code of Laws really important. Using our science. Preparing for even more science with the Universitas, which I can finish next turn. And then I need warriors anyway, because there's 2 colonies, or 3 colonies even. So that is great. That turn works out perfectly. Also making me able to defend. So the warrior was even needed, so that is good. See if he will. He doesn't play politics. We'll go for that masonry. Then he probably upgrades the alchemy as well. Yes, he does. Builds one more lab. Okay, he will not elect Columbus, so he values a 1 rock from Ashoka more than the civil action from Columbus. It's very interesting. And then grabbing drama. I mean, yeah, there's Shakespeare, but he doesn't have printing presses, so it looks more like he needs more happy faces. I think I would have liked theology quite a lot here. Theologies are very cheap with masonries. So I think I would have preferred that. He doesn't have the population to make the only drama work. Let's see what I will play. Good Harvest is a safe play, and we get the Wealthy. I'm able to win it. Have to... Oh no, he's able to win it, right. Sorry, I'm used to being yellow. He's able to win it by sending away 1 Swordsman, 2 cards. I'm perfectly fine with this. This was very important when I played this and decided to not bid all of my rocks. I wanted to... Yeah, if he has the 2 colonization cards and wants to send away the Swordsman, that's fine. There's more colonies to come, so let him pay a lot. I'm fine with not getting the first one and making him pay a lot. The better ones, the vast and the... What is the last one? I think it was the developed territory. They are worth a lot more than the wealthy. Especially for us, we have a lot of rocks anyway. So I'm perfectly fine with him winning that one. Then I can finish the Universitas, grab irrigation. I mean, we just played the Good Harvest, so that can be great. Play the tactic, because it's still H1, and I use the H1 military cards. And even another inhabited territory also in the hand. So, SlemmeOdder will lose Ashoka. By the way, there was no sewers. No sewers, sadly. This would have been a nice setup. He will grab the St. Pete's. That helps with his happy face. So, at least he finds a solution for that. Then also the drama makes a lot more sense. So, yeah, this is nicely avoided the crisis that was coming up. There were no happy faces on the board, and it would have been quite hard to solve that with only dramas. I guess the colony also helped slightly, because he got 1 yellow cube back. But yeah, this St. Pete's is really good for him. Works great with the masonry, or saves him 1 civil action, which is good enough. And he will rebuild the swordsman. So let's see, I guess I play the territory, I definitely do, and there's the vast. And looks like he's able to win it once again. I didn't want to overbid again, because we just saw him discard some colonization cards. I sadly haven't drawn a single one. So he's able to win that one again, but has sent 2 swordsmen, which is really, really expensive. So that was basically, I was fine with this outcome. The only bad outcome would have been if he had drawn a H2 colonization card, but he only drew 1 card last turn, so that would have been very, very unlikely. But then he could have won this for just 1 swordsman like this. Yeah, I don't want to send 6 rocks for that. That would be really expensive. And the better outcome for me, in my opinion at least, is that he overbids, or that he... Maybe this isn't necessarily an overbid, this helps him quite a lot, of course. The vast territory has a lot of rocks as well. But it's still really, really expensive. That is 2 military actions, 2 population, 6 rocks from the swordsman, so it is really expensive. And there's more colonies, so if he keeps doing this, he's sending too much away, and it's not going to be worth it. So I can use this turn to upgrade some more production, upgrade 1 iron and 2 irrigations. So yeah, just using this turn to upgrade the production. There's only H1 cards on the deck. I don't want to grab too many cards because they're not from H2. He gets the selective breeding, goes for it immediately. I mean, he just got the vast territory, but with that selective breeding, he will get even more food production going. And he will upgrade to 1 swordsman, elect Columbus. But see, he's not drawing a lot of cards. He has to rebuild some military. I think he did this only to get rid of corruption. Else he probably wouldn't have done that. But like this he can. Or he can also defend like this, so that might be a reason as well. So, I can't play a colony, sadly. I'm used to being able to do that. I could even go for war. Go for war, go for Nobel, build 1 one warrior, fulfill the tactic. But he has 8 rocks, he can easily just fulfill his tactic as well, and I mean, we could be able to win it then. But it's also just good to open either the Crusades, which is nice, stealing his culture, or the colonies in general. Pushing to the colonies would be really good. But yeah, the Crusades, there's always a debate how impactful that is, but in this case, I mean, 31 to 7, we are definitely ahead in the culture by quite a lot. And I'm able to upgrade some more iron, increase population, grab those cannons, and the Republic, grab that away from him. Yeah, he doesn't have a government form yet. I don't know if he would have gone for Republic, because he has no military actions, but there is Catherine and Napoleon and still the strategy as well as the Kremlin. So I think, yeah, he would have gone for the Republic if I had given that to him. He could have spent the next turn just upgrading food, increasing population, grabbing the Republic, and then in the next turn he would have enough science for that. I think he definitely prefers to get the Conmon, but it's worth it for me here to grab away the Republic, just to deny him that. Keeping the 2 wars, if we get the strategy, that could still be a move to go for war. We will see. And finally, colonization card that can help with the next colony that's hopefully coming up soon. Looks like he doesn't have a colony for Columbus yet. I mean, we had most of the good ones from H1. We had the developed, inhabited, wealthy and vast. You don't want to go for strategic or historic territory with Columbus. And he's only drawn, what, 2 cards from H2 or 3? Not that much, and he keeps not drawing that much as well. He rebuilds his army, wants to be stronger. Not drawing any cards. Grabbing journalism and reserves. I would have liked the rich land as well if he wants to upgrade the last food production. But reserves works as well. Not sure about the journalism. I mean, he's setting up for Shakespeare, but this doesn't feel like a Shakespeare game. I mean, there can be a way for him to catch up, but then you should have grabbed the rich land, because Shakespeare needs a lot of population. You already have 2 in the alchemy. If you want extra population to put in through the drama and the journalism, I mean, it's going to be, first of all, very expensive. Journalisms are quite expensive, even with Shakespeare and the masonry. But mostly you need a lot of population. I guess he does have the vast and has good food anyway, so maybe that's fine to not grab the rich land. Don't want to be too harsh on him. He's playing pretty solid. There's finally colony that I'm able to win. He doesn't bid for that at all. He has had enough of those expensive colonies. And I finally get a good colony for 1 warrior. And then grab Napoleon. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's setting up for Shakespeare with not a lot of rocks. We have 2 wars and a tactic in hand. And Napoleon is on the board. So, yeah, this is the opportunity to try to punish him for that. Deny him possibility to go for Shakespeare. Getting stronger this turn. I think some of these are colonies. I don't know if he played something. 1 is Good Harvest, I definitely remember that. But in general, just setting up for for Napoleon with the culture lead against someone who doesn't produce that much culture and who wants to go for Shakespeare. I think Napoleon is a great way to punish this. He will upgrade his resource production. I think here, again, if you had the rich land instead of the reserves, it could have been pretty great. But this, I guess, also works. Getting up to 6 rock production is not bad at all, but still no colony for Columbus. That is a big danger if you go for Napoleon with no good card draw, or with no colony in hand, first of all, and only 2 card draw at maximum each turn, and he has not had that too. He has had way less. So that is always a danger. And comes back to the turn where he didn't want to go for Leonardo. I think Leonardo would have done a lot here. Extra rocks, extra science. Let's see if he finds a colony still in this game. So I could go for war. Yeah, I do go for war now. With the strategy coming out, I guess that will be the choice then. Grab the strategy. No, go for cavalryman. What else do we do? Increase population, build a cavalryman. Play the tactic, increase population, grab the efficient upgrade. So he can have the strategy. But then he has the problem that we are winning this war, so we might steal the strategy if he doesn't get enough extra strength. Or he, after that, won't have any strength, any science. So I remember that I was really debating which war should I go for first, the war for territory or science. I mean, we were setting up for an even stronger turn next turn if we go for rifleman and upgrade. We will fulfill the Napoleonic army normally. So that was something I was thinking about. But yeah, I decided for the science because he doesn't have a happy face problem. I wanted to go with the war that has more impact immediately. And usually more impact you have by going for the war for territory. Because you steal the yellow cubes, you give your opponent big trouble. Like this, he has enough food, he has a good yellow bank, easy solution for happy faces, so that wouldn't have done that much. But if he either spends all his science on strategy, or loses the strategy, or whatever he does, not having science for 2 turns will really hurt him. And he can't win the war, so he either spends all of his science and then goes down to 0, or doesn't spend all of it, loses some, and then it's also not good. So yeah, we will see how he can respond, but I felt like the science is something that he would need right now more than... I did that too quickly. He needs science more than the yellow cubes. He does indeed also have the inhabited territory from Columbus, so he got the colony that he was searching for. So yeah, now his yellow bank is even better. And then he goes for strategy as well as 2 swordsmen. Efficient upgrade, no wave for him. Let's see now, if we had gone for the war of territory, stealing 1 yellow cube now doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all for him. For us, I mean, it's okay, but not really needed. But now he's going down to 0 science. Or 1 science, I guess. No, 2 science, I can't do math. Which, by the way, could have been avoided if he hadn't used the breakthrough. He shouldn't have used the breakthrough here, then we could only steal 4 science, I believe. Oh no, he did the drama, something like this. I think there was a way for him to not use the breakthrough and then, yeah, have less science. Or maybe not, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he needed the breakthrough to go for the drama. Yeah. Okay, but we still steal 4 science from him. And I immediately go for the war of territory as well. Can go for riflemen, build them, upgrade to iron. I also don't have to deny the Cornborn anymore. He has no science to go for that ever. Go up to 25 strength. I can even send away my warrior if the colonies shows up. And then what else do I do? Increase pop, grab navigation, and even upgrade the last rifleman and grab wave. So we're looking pretty strong, 27 to 15. This is a big war. We're losing this many yellow cubes could even hurt him or really benefit us. So I think I did the science in the correct order, because now he has no science. He can't really respond, he can't go for cannons, he can only defend by going for more swordsmen. And that's not going to help him in the long run. Being forced into the swordsman is not the best thing. So he will open something. It's going to be the inhabited, which he's able to win. I say I don't want this. We would lose strength. He has to lose strength like this. I think I did the math. And I didn't want to send away my units. We only had big units for 5 rocks. Maybe it would have been better for yellow cubes, but this is perfectly fine for me. I'm just going to steal even more. He can rebuild 2 of them, go up to 19. Or even build 1 more. No, can upgrade 1 coal, grab cannons. But yeah, now he has how many? 6 swordsmen. Maybe he has defensive army, then he can salvage this if he goes for cannons as well. But we will see what he can go for. So we only steal 2 yellow cubes, but that's still pretty good. Helps us quite a lot. Doesn't hurt him by that much, but at least it limits his population a little bit. And I think the most important part, wars achieved by these wars. He can't really go for Shakespeare. I mean, he can still. Yeah, I guess he can still go for Shakespeare. He has journalism in hand. There's 2 population next turn, and then can go for 1 pair. But we have a big culture lead, and we still have a big strength lead as well. So for politics, I could go for the NX, but that is not guaranteed. He's just drawn H3 cards, which would be enough to defend. So I think it could be reasonable to just go for the aggression, but I think I decided to go for the ravages, yeah. Uncertain Borders is also in there. I think he played that, right? We didn't play on... Or did we play on... Maybe we played on... I think we played Uncertain Borders. So stealing even one more yellow cube helps even more. I think there's still a colony, so going for the navigation here. Going for... Preparing for one more army. I mean, if we draw a war here, we're looking so good. Just one more cavalryman, we get the tactic again. Or just go for one more and go for the aggression, the annex. You will open Good Harvest, alright, there was still the Good Harvest. Go for Shakespeare. Go for Cannon, but see, you can't even use Shakespeare this turn. He's forced to go for the Cannon to be able to defend, maybe. Can go for one drama, but he's still not having Shakespeare enabled. He's always falling behind too much that even Shakespeare might not be enough at some point. And there's still the big threat of a war. So I played politics, not the aggression. Too uncertain. I'd rather play the impact here instead of trying the aggression when it might not work. And we get a lot of rocks from the arms industry, 6 rocks from this. And at this point I could transition. I could transition into multimedia, or I could go for more military. I think I decided to go for multimedia. Let's see. First of all military. And then one. Okay, yeah, this also works. My idea was, I mean, I like the extra cavalryman just to be able to play the annex. If I don't draw a war, I still draw 3 cards. And like this, if I draw a war, probably over the game. But I also need a backup plan. What happens if I don't get a war? He just goes completely into Shakespeare and I can't punish him for it. This could be a way how I lose this game. One way to avoid that is to get some outs, and my out here is the fast food chain. I think a different possibility could have been the multimedia, but there is still a lot of time in the game, so I might still go for the multimedia later. And the rest, I mean, United Nations, Man in Project. Man in Project doesn't give any culture for us. Red Cross don't really have the food, so yeah, grabbing the Wonder here this early. Usually not the best, but I think in this position it's really good. Because, yeah, it gives us the Wonder already, and then we have our backup plan if there's no war. Then increase pop, and that's it. We get some tactics. If we get a war now, we have the modern army. Could just go for 2 more riflemen, and this game would be so over. He goes for Shakespeare. Goes for journalism. Can go for 9 culture production. And some more food, but yeah, now it's aggression time. This is what we've been waiting for. I did draw a new one. The plunder from H3 is harsh, so I don't think I'm even gonna go for the annex. I mean, I could annex, steal the inhabited 2. He loses 3, no problem for him. I mean, not great, it always hurts, but doesn't give him uprising or anything like that. And I mean, yeah, we would benefit from it, but not by that much. So I think I decided to go for the plunder. Yeah, plunder, 7 rocks, no way for him to defend. And stealing 7 rocks, he's going down to 2. So yeah, we are super rich now. This is such a huge swing. It costs him any progress to his pairs. I mean, he can go for 1 drama, even they only cost 1. But in general, losing 7 rocks and your opponent getting 7 is such a huge swing. That means such a difference in what we can do for the rest of the game, basically. Because it's more than 1 production, or actually exactly 1 production in the mean. And then I can go for multimedia, which is another out. If he somehow manages to... Or if we don't manage to draw a war, he manages to get some more pairs up. I guess at this point it's pretty clear who's gonna win, but don't forget, in this tournament mode it's also important by how much you win. So you should never say, I'm gonna win, don't need to play correctly anymore. And I think this is the best way to guarantee that we win by a lot, going for these extra multimedias, still have enough for fast food, and always having the option with the Air Force for some more war shenanigans. Let's see if we will draw that. No. Import of Culture and the Armed Intervention. I mean, Import of Culture could work if we get a leader. I mean, there's still... Okay, there's no real leader for our situation anymore. nothing that really would help us. Let's see what he does with his small turn. He only has 2 rocks, so probably it doesn't do too much. We'll lose the pyramids, which usually is really good to destroy the pyramids with Ravages of Time, but he really needs the civil actions. He's still on despotism. There's no government form from H3 yet. And then he can build that 1 extra drama. If we had another plunder now, that would be just cruel. I mean, he does have some reserves to do something then at least, but reserves without a lot of civil actions aren't the best solution to your resource problems. So let's see what I play. I could just go for another aggression again, like either the annex, the armed intervention, or maybe play the Input of Science and just build 1 more multimedia. Let's see what I do. Yeah, Input of Science it's gonna be. Economic progress, we get even more rocks and some food. And yeah, I think the reason not to go for armed intervention or the annex is that we wouldn't draw enough military actions. I guess we wouldn't draw enough cards because we would only have 2 military actions, which could then mean that we would go for military theory to draw full, but without the war, as I said, we're playing for our alternative win conditions. If we get the war, we just play that and win with that, but we need our alternatives, and that is still service here. Going for 1 more multimedia, getting out of corruption, urban growth, maybe even 1 more multimedia, and then the wonder as well is going to produce enough and give us enough options. And there finally is a war, so that is still an option of course as well. And then even Input of Culture starts to look better and better, because he might lose Shakespeare before that is revealed. He will not play politics, goes for computers, air forces. Has corruption, computers here. I don't know about computers here. He had enough to build 1 more journalism, which is almost the same science upgrade. Would give him a lot more culture production. Would have saved civil actions and science because you don't need those computers. I guess he's setting up for Bill Gates, but at this point, if he only gets Bill Gates next turn, he's gonna have maybe 1 production cycle with Bill Gates, or he's setting up for Sid Meier, but I mean, it's really tough. In this position, you're not producing more culture than me. You're way behind in military, so he also knows if there's a war, he's probably gonna lose. I mean, he has at least air forces, maybe can defend. But like the game is going, we don't need a war to win this. We're winning this with culture production and our wonder. So of course this is a tough position for him, but I don't think the computers here are the solution. I think you should just go all in on the culture production with Shakespeare and hope we don't have a war. But it's a really tough position. So let's see if I do go for that hybrid war finally. I don't have happy faces, but there's pro sports. No, I go for the armed intervention, and he can actually defend. 3 defend cards plus 1 from H2 means he can defend this aggression. And then I go for pro sports. I guess I'm still setting up for the hybrid war. Build the pro sports. Still have enough rocks available for the fast food chains. Play the new tactics. So yeah, we're setting up, or I'm setting up for the hybrid war next turn and build 2 riflemen to fulfill the modern army 2 times. And we even get war over culture. That could work as well. We will open the Input of Harmony, getting 24 to 20. Looked 24 is quite high, but we can also have 20, so that's not the biggest difference here. He will go for cavalryman. Bill Gates it will be, but yeah, like this. Next turn is going to be his last, so he gets the production once, the extra rocks from Bill Gates. And of course the culture at the end, but yeah, maybe Marlene would have been even better. I'm not sure. I mean, he has a lot of rocks now and can go for Air Force, so maybe we don't even go for the war. I mean, his options are go for Air Forces, build 2 of those. I mean, yeah, 2 of those. The problem is he only fulfills the tactic once. But he has enough rocks for 1 Air Force and 1 cannon and cavalryman, so he has a lot of strength potential. And I will lose Napoleon here, so I could just play the Input of Culture. But no, I decided to go for the hybrid war, because the hybrid war, I mean, doesn't hurt him too much. He doesn't need the happy faces. And then I will go for Air Forces. And I can go for Malena. Alright. Destroy the philosophies. That's what they are for. Build one rifleman, so we fulfill the tactic again. An Air Force and another Air Force. So yeah, maximizing the strength and maximizing the outcome of this game. As I said, that could be important depending on how the standing of the league are at the end. And then, yeah, still... No, we don't have enough. We ignore the fast food chain, so I did grab it early as I said, as a backup plan if we didn't get a war, but we did get that war, so now we are fully into that with 90 strength, which is quite high. I mean, not every time that you see 2 modern armies with air forces. This is pretty standard army if you think about it, but you don't see it that often because it's really, really expensive, and we have to cheat a little bit by going for Malena instead of the extra riflemen. Yeah, this is it. We use all of our civil and military actions, so working out completely. And then we even have the input of culture, which we would win at the moment, so we'll see if he goes for extra culture production or not. And of course we have to see how he responds. But first of all, H4 will start. We discard a lot of cards, but we didn't need them anyway. Alright, and he still loses 2 yellow cubes, so Hybrid War will give him some problems, because he doesn't have free population now. Can finally go for a new government form. I mean, yeah, that has been a problem for him this whole game. So denying the Republic, I think, great move. After that, the War over Technology denied him for going for Conmon or any other heavy technologies. So, but now he can finally go for fundamentalism to help defending a little bit, increase pop, and ignore the hybrid war. Go up to 45. Oh no, don't ignore. Just destroy 2 swordsmen. So I have 43 strength to defend from him, and then we will steal 47 culture. So this makes this game completely not close anymore. Such a big win in the war. And I mean, it's not like we are only this military. We also have the multimedias still producing nice culture, meaning we can't even win the input of culture. Input of science won't be so easy, so we probably will lose that one. Input of happiness sadly didn't come out during his turn when he had the uprising. That would have been even better, but maybe also too cruel. Then I can go for one more religion. There's still input of happy faces. Oh no, we just saw it. And get one more technology. Not much else to do. And then we can see the end result. 10 for him from the science. 9 to 9 from the wonders. 10 to 0 from the culture. And 4 to 8 from the industry. And he gets some from Bill Gates, but not enough. So we are able to win this. And with that, we will see if I advance or not. But I think this... was guaranteed to give me the advance, so spoiler, sorry guys. But yeah, very interesting game, especially with the colonies. It felt wrong playing all of these colonies and him winning them, but it also really delayed his development. He had to rebuild the military. I mean, vast territory is great, but standing 2 swordsmen away for that, as I said, that is a lot of rocks. 6 rocks, 2 military actions, 2 civil actions for increasing population, a lot of food. Yeah, sending away a lot of units is very expensive, especially that early on, because of the rocks you have to invest. And then we did get the tools to punish him, and with Napoleon and the great army, with the Napoleonic army as well, we just had a very strong military setup. He was able to defend a little bit. The wars didn't destroy him completely, but we denied him from going for Shakespeare, or not completely, but we denied him from enabling Shakespeare. We got our own culture production up in the end, just to make sure we would win even without a war. And I think there would have been other possibilities as well. And I think we would have won this without the war. We could have gone for more multimedias and the wonder, and that would have been enough. But very interesting. SlemmeOdder was able to win his 2 games against the other guys. I guess for that we can take a look at the standings. That will help. So here you see the end results for my group number 7. Yeah, as you can see, I win the second position with 6 points. Carl Thomas able to win all of his games, so deserved first spot. I mean, that game was pretty close, you guys saw it already. So yeah, pretty fair. He won against me, won against everybody else. So of course he deserves the first spot. And I deserve the second spot, I would say, because I had defeated SlemmeOdder. So overall, this group standings looks fair. There was no big upset, maybe. Carl Thomas played very solid, so that is good. SlemmeOdder also played pretty good. Some mistakes that I think also point out here. As you can see, it doesn't have a high level, but for that level, 28, he's played pretty solid. Also showing in his results against Bruins and Kathy Matthews. He was able to beat these two. So, I mean, who knows? It's hard to evaluate the strength of a group. But I would say I'm one of the best two-player players. Or so Carl Thomas being on first in different groups, maybe SlemmeOdder could have advanced it as well. So yeah, I'm basically just trying to encourage SlemmeOdder. He didn't play bad, but he might have just had a hard group with Carl Thomas and me. So yeah, this has been a lot of fun, and this has been the first group stage of the World Championship. And as we discussed earlier, how many are there going to be? Stage 1 to 4, 4 group stages, and then there's going to be playoff. So if you enjoyed this, there's hopefully going to be a lot more of this, because we might repeat all of these group stages 3 more times. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Leave me a comment, say what you think about this game or the whole tournament in general. How did your groups go? Did you perform as you expected? Like the video, that always helps. If you want to help me out on Patreon, or check me out during my live streams on Twitch. And yeah, with that said, hope you enjoyed the video, and I see you for the next group stage.